US Supreme Court has now cleared Mumbai attack convict Tahawwur Rana's extradition to India. This is the latest piece of information that we are bringing to you. US Supreme Court has cleared the Mumbai attack convict Tahawwur Rana's extradition to India. Arunima is joining us on the broadcast. Arunima, very good morning. Please give us more information about this latest breaking news that we're learning regarding Tahawwur Rana.
So Tahawwur Rana is an accused wanted for the Mumbai 26/11 attacks. He was a Canadian and American citizen, and subsequently India proved its case against Tahawwur Rana. What his lawyers did after the lower courts in the United States rejected his appeal was go to the Supreme Court as a final legal attempt to avoid his extradition to India. They argued that this would become a case of double jeopardy, which protects him from being tried twice for the same crime. He's already, convicted for the crime in the courts of United States, and therefore extradition to India would subject him to the same process of legal trial, and that's what the double jeopardy was cited there. Now we are told that the United States Supreme Court has rejected that appeal. He, of course, could now take the route of asylum, trying to appeal to the Trump administration that his extradition not be allowed on grounds that there is a threat to his life and safety in India. That option is still available, but legally speaking, this was the last ground of appeal that Tahawwur Rana could have taken. Even that has been rejected by the Supreme Court there.
Right, Arunima, and also, what do you think now the legal course of action will be after this information that's coming in?
Like I just told you, this was the last step, last legal remedy that was available. This was the US Supreme Court where Tahawwur Rana's lawyers had appealed. So as far as legal remedies goes, I think he has exhausted all his possible appeals there. But there is an option of appealing for asylum, seeking mercy of the United States government, seeking the indulgence of the Trump administration there, appealing that there is a threat to his life and his well-being in India, and therefore he should not be extradited there. What the Trump administration does on that count, we'll have to wait and see. Indian government, the NIA, which has been pursuing this case relentlessly, has been very hopeful of securing a positive order from the United States administration. Even when the Biden administration was in power, there was constant back and forth between NIA and the federal government officials there. Now the Trump administration is in power, diplomatic channels are also being activated by India to ensure that Rana comes back here and faces trial for the crimes of Mumbai 26/11.
Right, Arunima. Akansha is also joining us on the broadcast. Please stay on with us. Akansha, he filed a writ petition before the US Supreme Court right a day before Donald Trump was sworn in as the American president. So what does the future course of action now look like after Donald Trump taking over? What changes can this case see?
So as Arunima was rightly highlighting, that he seems to have exhausted all his options, and now that the US Supreme Court has cleared the Tahawwur Rana's extradition to India, it doesn't seem like there is any chance that even the US president will in fact be entertaining any kind of mercy that perhaps is filed by him. If there is any legal option, we'll have to look deeper into that. But we know that this has come from the apex court in the United States. India also has been seeking the extradition of Rana. At the same time, what I can tell you, Kaveri, the fact that this has been a case which has been pending for very long. He's a Pakistani origin Canadian businessman who was being sought for his involvement in the 2008 Mumbai terror attack. He is going to be extraditable under the plain provisions of the US-India extradition treaty. And in fact, the US attorneys had also been pushing for his extradition in 2024. In fact, I remember that last year in May itself, Rana had also filed a writ of habeas corpus that was challenging the court order. But even then, the US attorney had in fact very much highlighted that Rana should be extradited to India under the treaty that India and the United States share. And India had also been establishing probable causes to prosecute him. And remember, this is also coming not just after the inauguration of the US president. I know that, the judiciary there is an individual body, but India has really been pushing for the extradition of Rana, and it's also arrived at a very critical juncture when the External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has been making frequent visits to Washington. It was in fact his third visit in the last 6 months when he attended the inauguration of the US President. So we'll have to see if this extradition is now going to finally culminate into Rana being brought to India and be getting prosecuted.
Right, Akansha and Arunima, please both of you stay with us. We have Siddhant also joining us this morning. Siddhant, what steps do you think will be taken now once Tahawwur Rana arrives in India, and how will the charges will be proceeded against him?
Well, this as far as this particular extradition is concerned, India has been pushing really hard for this extradition, but there is a legal process in the United States, and that process has to be followed. The U.S. government had full support as far as the legal process to extradite Tahawwur Rana is concerned. He was given, he had enough legal options, and in fact, he used almost all of them and reached to the U.S. Supreme Court also, so that his extradition could get stopped. But now we're getting to know that the Supreme Court has cleared Rana's extradition to India, and it's a big win for the government of India. But also, it has taken a long time for his extradition to be cleared. Now, this is what the news agency is reporting, that that Rana will be extradited. We are still awaiting response from the official response from the Ministry of External Affairs or the government of US. But what the news agency is reporting, that this was Rana's last legal chance not to be extradited to India. Earlier, he lost a legal battle in several other federal courts, including the U.S. Court of Appeals for the North Circuit in San Francisco. So Tahawwur Rana is India's most wanted. Perhaps he had played a significant role as far as the 26/11 attacks are concerned. India has been asking for his extradition from a long time, but because he had to go through the legal process, with each passing, his extradition was being delayed because of the lengthy legal process in US. But now we are getting to know that the Supreme Court has cleared the convict Tahawwur Rana's extradition to India, as it dismissed the review petition against his conviction in the case. So the last chance was this review petition, and now the petition has been dismissed. Perhaps a very significant step, and this particular development also talks about the growing India-US ties. In fact, this particular decision of extraditing Tahawwur Rana happened during President Biden's regime, and in fact, he was expected to be extradited to India long ago. But again, as I said, that because of the lengthy judicial process, now he will be extradited. This is what agency PTI is reporting. We are still trying to get more clarity because this was the review petition in the Supreme Court which got rejected. Do he really have? Is there any other legal route also which he could take to delay his extradition for some more time, or perhaps any other legal resort which he could take?
Siddhant, right. The point that you're making right now regarding the delay and the challenges that could be faced even after the Supreme Court's ruling, since you're saying that's a big rule, it's a big thing for the Indian government, what might be the challenges that can see in the future?
Well, there were many issues because, as I said, that there's a lengthy process in the U.S. courts. In fact, some of the media had also reported that Canada could also object to his extradition since he was the Canadian citizen. In fact, that was also reported, but it looks like now that is not going to be the case, and Canada will not have any say in extradition of Tahawwur Rana.